poised he looks.
31 years old, played his college ball with Florida State. Fires it over the middle, and it's picked off at the 35-yard line by Stephen Boyd. And then you've got Johnson getting into a fight with Robert Porcher. So the quarterback and the big defensive end getting into a fight. McElwee went down. There is the referee at the bottom of the pile. Flags are down, of course.
This will be an interesting call on the fight, and see whether or not Bob McElwee decides to throw somebody out of the game here, Al. Those guys are swinging at each other.
Exactly. How about if he decides to throw Brad Johnson out of the game?
You got to give Johnson credit going for Porcher, but you usually want to do that when your offensive linemen are around, so you can seem tough and you don't really have to fight. You let those guys pick it up for you.
Now you've got a rugby scrum and another flag.
And this is probably all precipitated by the tongue lashing that Bobby Ross gave his team, and they're not going to take anymore.
Oh, look at this. And
what is he thinking about?
And then the back judge gets whacked. Trey Johnson hits the back judge in the back of the head. That is Bill Levy. Ooh, boy.
He's one of the great guys, too. You know, we deal with him all the time before games, and I don't know what Trey Johnson's thinking about, but you got to catch yourself, and you got to hold back. And right now you're doing all the things that the Detroit Lions want you to do.
Well, you had a pick by Boyd. You had a fight with Johnson and Porcher.
We have unnecessary roughness against both teams after the play. And then we have an unsportsmanlike on number 77, Washington, 15 yards. The player is
out of the game, yep.
So that is a Pro Bowl guard, Trey Johnson, who is ejected. So they're missing Trey Johnson, the Pro Bowl guard. Andy Heck, the left tackle, with a hamstring injury, went out in the first quarter. So it's a totally revamped line. And here's Porcher and Johnson that precipitated it.
And you know what's going on here, Al? Johnson had just thrown the interception. Defensive lineman, all of a sudden, look at the quarterback as fresh meat. He is no longer protected, and they can go after him. And defensive line coaches and defensive coordinators in the NFL basically tell their guys to go get the quarterback because he is free. He is no longer protected as if he would if he had the ball in his hands.
And then you just saw Brad Johnson with that angelic look, and now exhorting the crowd.
I don't know about that. And there goes Trey Johnson. He's going into the locker room. I don't know what he's so happy about. This game is nowhere near over. Let's take a look and see what happened with Trey Johnson. Let's see what happens here.
He's losing his balance. You know, the question now arises, I'll get to it in a second,
suspended
at the 45-yard line. Surratt trying to get Detroit back into the game, throws it, is dropped. It's incomplete. When a guy gets thrown out of the game, as Johnson did, and even though he's not looking to hit the official, it looked as if he was losing his balance, the question is he subject to suspension? It's something that the league reviews, because if you get suspended right now and Washington wins, that means you're suspended next week in Tampa.
And take a look at this. You can see Trey Johnson right here. I don't know, Al. He's trying. Who's he trying to get to? It looks like he's trying to get to. I can't see the number.
I couldn't tell either.
It might have been Tracy Stroggins, number 97.
Now Surratt, he gets sacked. So emotions very high on both sides of the line right now. Penalty flag comes in. That's Dan Wilkinson. This looks like the WWF right now.
And I think you're going to have a penalty on the defense. Face mask probably on Dan Wilkinson. I mean, have the Redskins come apart here or what? We saw Norv Turner talking to Brad Johnson earlier. He's probably telling him, look, you just got to everybody's got to calm down here. We have this game in the bag if we just stay within the game and don't lose our poise, and that's exactly what the Lions have done. They've forced the Redskins out of their game right now.
They forced them out of the game, and they have forced them to play the rest of the game without Stephen Davis, without Trey Johnson, two Pro Bowl guys, and without left tackle Andy Heck. The good news, of course, is that they're leading 27-0.
And they're just looking at the time, I believe, right now, thinking that there might be some more time put back on the clock. Well, when Bob McElwee got thrown to the ground, his microphone went out.
Yeah, I think you're right.
He's trying to get everybody to reset the clock here. It sounds like they want to put some more time on the clock.
He can't communicate over the PA system.
He's going to want to come over here, and he's going to want to get on the phone, and he's going to want to call upstairs and say, hey, look, put some more time back on the clock.
In terms of length of service as a referee, Bob is now the senior guy in the league. This is his 20th year as a ref.
And they're on the phone, Al.
Call and collect. I think they've added 9 seconds to the clock, is what he communicated upstairs.
You know, they added 9 seconds, and then they start the clock anyway.
Well, at least if they started it from 11:19. Otherwise, they would have started it from 11:10. And Detroit is appreciative. They'll take every second they can get right now, down by 4 touchdowns. Ron Rivers is the running back. First down from the 38-yard line. Barat tipped. Oh, and an easy pick by Evans, and he couldn't hold on.
You know, watching Gus Barat, Al, he's just uncomfortable back there. He's not going through his reads. He's got